Hello everybody, Reggie Time here and welcome to 2018. It is 0117 on the first day of January 2018. I've been playing for about an hour. So far I'm only up a couple of pounds. It's been a slow start. There's been a bit of regular activity, probably clearing out the regs from the night before who were still doing whatever, and we're starting relatively fresh with just Ouija and SR23 currently getting in the way between myself and some recreational players, hopefully very pissed and very mistake happy regular players. My intention is to play pretty snug, pretty tight and just hunt mistakes, nothing more than that. Obviously we're going to be looking to isolate where we can with playable hands, etc., but we're not going to be running any ridiculously big bluffs. We're not going to be looking to make any ridiculously big hero calls. It's going to be a matter of play tight, play solid, hopefully pick up a couple of stacks when these players just make mistakes and punt off to us. That's pretty much my game plan for the whole year, or it's certainly what I'm starting out for in the year, trying to find some of the fishiest tables that I can find on Sky with the least resistance and hopefully just hunt the mistakes and make plenty of money. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. But needless to say, if I could find tables like this on a regular basis, then it's fair to say it would be a very good year. Not sure how long this video is going to run for. It's not going to be split into two parts. It's just going to be, it is what it is. Obviously it's Monday. I should usually be doing a blog post now. I did one just a couple of days ago. No point doing another one. There's nothing really to report since then. Only I did do my first little mini selling shares, whatever you want to call it, in some tournament action. I played two £20 UKIPs tournaments. UCOPS tournaments, sorry, not UKIPs. Fucking last thing I would do is UKIPs, being a massive Jeremy Corbyn fan. UKIPs is the last thing I want to be involved in. Yeah, I did play two UCOPS tournaments. I bricked out of one pretty early and I min cashed a mega stack, and each of my investors made 15 pence each, which was a phenomenal return for them. I'm sure they were all on the edge of the seats. You never really got going in either tournament. I was pleased just to get the min cash in the end, because at 1.5 off the money I was the shortest stack and on about 2, maybe 3 big blinds at the most. So we had a bit of luck towards the end. We managed to win a couple of all-ins when we needed to and squeak into the money. Rab is usually a reloader, so fingers crossed Rab will reload at table 3. And the 220 nails at the top, 230 nails at the bottom. And let's see if we can't make some hands. There's a top pair. We're going to be willing to pay for all of Hell stack, and it's very handy that just folds, because now it makes this hand incredibly easy to play. C-bet flop. If we get called, jam all turns. Pretty much, given that we're going to have like half a pot bet left. And we get the fold, which is a okay result, I guess. I'd rather have had the call, of course, but we'll take what we can get. I'm going to isolate here, not as big though, because we don't really want to. Well, I guess if we do raise, we're going to have to call against tail, so fuck it. We may as well just isolate for pot again. We're not, off that stack size, we're not going to be able to fold if he ships for whatever it's going to be, like 18 bigs or whatever it is. And we flop a full house, which is nice in terms of we know we're going to win the hand, but maybe not that easy to get paid unless people start donking into me, which is pleasant. Obviously no reason to raise. I'm going to hope that ace has hit him somehow. He doesn't donk this time. There's 30 effective stacks of 30, so we need to bet something here, but I just don't think he can have very much. Maybe a draw at best, so we're going to at just under half pot. We're going to fold the ace jack to the 3-bet. He did call, so hopefully he has a king or ace jack or something like that. I should have bet slightly bigger because now we can't jam this river. I'm going to go small anyway because I don't think he can have very much. And it will give him a chance to spew if he does have a draw, or if he has a straight, it gives him a chance to raise, I guess. Well, yeah, I didn't think he was. How could he be strong there, really, on that river? I mean, we pretty much got it all. A6 suited. I think we'll let that go. Try and hit a set with the pocket fives against Ouija. He's a fan of the channel. Well, I don't know if he's a fan of the channel, but I know he watches my videos. He might just watch them to figure out ways to exploit me. Who knows? I just noticed Rob didn't reload, which is unfortunate at table 2 because table 3 because Rob is very much, when he gets on a roll, he can create some fun dynamics at the table for sure. Usually high average pot when Rob's around because he likes playing big pots. Keeping my eye open for other tables that might be of interest. I'll just basically have them played on the side and ready to slot them in. Should there be any action that's of interest to anybody, or should the table break? The good thing about these fishy tables, when it's all fish or nearly all fish, you don't break anywhere near as quickly, because when you're playing with 4 eggs, 2 fish and 1 fish quits, quite often the eggs will just break the table. Obviously when you've got lots of fish, it takes much longer for tables to break. Speed BKR, it seems to be at 1, 2, 3, 4 tables. He's green tagged, and he's also at the other table I'm not at, but he's not reloading. He's green tagged for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but I've done something to maybe tag him as green. So until I see something to tell me he's not rubbish, I'm going to keep him tagged as green. I'm not aware of this player. I don't know why. I mean, I could easily have just tagged him as green tonight. Maybe I've just seen him at one table early with a less than 100 blind stack. We'll keep our eye on him and see what we think going forward. He might get upgraded to orange at some point, but given he's not reloading, he's very little chance he'll ever be a red. You get raised by Muggy. We have the double. We have like the double gut shot, but on a paired board where the diamond or the heart of Queen of Hearts is dirty and the 8 of Hearts and whatever is dirty, we're just gonna let it go. We don't chase straight draws on paired boards that are double flushing. That's pretty much a license to leak money. Could 3-bet with the Queen Jack suited here just to try and isolate. In fact, no, we're not going to. We'll keep the pot small, we'll let the other fish in, and we'll hopefully smash. Not massive one for bloating pots out of position by 3-betting marginal hands against fish, because we just get called too often and makes life difficult, more difficult. It needs to be post flop, because against these weak players, when we make strong hands, we can just bet big, and build the pot that way. We don't need them to have much of a piece to be able to get 2 or 3 streets of value. Don't really want to get raised here by what the fucking hell this player's called. Speed Baker, Broker, fucking Speed Broker, who knows. Happy just to take that down there and then. I'm not really sure who Ouija's talking to there, but I'm pretty sure none of these green tag players are asked about him 3-betting top 60% of hands, etc, etc. Collier on the button with the suited ace. Allow other weaker players to come in with potentially weaker hands and weaker spade draws. Try to find a motivation to fold there for 30 pence, but I guess we just can't when Jackster's going to open fold turns to us. Depending on what I think of this speed broker, which is what I'm going to call him for the time being, for the record, he's going to decide whether I continue at this table with an aggressive player like Ouija to my left. I don't want to give too much away about how I play against Ouija or my strategy against him, because I know he does watch the videos, but what I will say, and I think it's very obvious, is he's a very aggressive player with the 3-betting, and I'm not sure I just need to be dealing with having him to my left when we can just potentially open the table that he's not at with 3 or 2, just a better table. I think there's a better table I can have than this one. I'm going to open it. We're going to take the seat. If we can, yeah, it's definitely a better table. And we'll keep it open for now. We're going to play this table on the side. But if Ouija starts getting on my fucking nerves with his 3-betting and what have you, and this guy doesn't look like he's playing a ton of pots, then we'll just switch this table out, we'll leave it, we'll get rid of it, and we'll bring the other table in. Not in my game plan this year to battle with aggressive regulars, particularly ones to my left hand side. I don't need that shite in my life, and I'm not going to have that shite in my life, but basically where I'm standing with it. I don't give a fuck what people think about that. Oh, you fucking whatever, you know, you need to be able to battle these regulars. I'm not saying I can't battle Ouija. What I'm saying is, if I don't fucking need to, then I'm not going to. Happy to play against him at tables where there's plenty of dead money around, but if there isn't much dead money around, then really just not that arse. We can just fuck him off and play somewhere else. His lollipop don't exactly seem to be getting involved much either. So if these are two like relatively like weak, tightish regulars, then there really is no reason to be here when I've got another table on the side that I can just slide in. Mon the Butcher. That's not a great card. It does give him some 2 pairs. It gives him some straights. Improves into some pair plus straight draws. I mean, we need to bet to protect our hand, but if we get called, I'm probably just going to check back river if he allows me to. If we get raised here, we're just going to pitch it. Pretty safe river. Hopefully he doesn't donk here and we just check back and win. He does donk, which makes me think there's a reasonable chance of beat, but with us not having a diamond in our hand, I guess I'm just going to have to call. But I think there's a lot of times I can be beat by straights here and 2 pairs of things. But we're getting reasonable pot odds. And sometimes he just has Queen Jack that decides to lead out, which makes no sense, but that's why we have to call getting those odds. You kind of know when he bets his value betting, or there's a very good chance he's value betting, but we're just getting such good odds to look him up there. Much tougher spot in my opinion if he pots it or what have you, given I didn't like the 10. The 10 felt heavy, and yeah, I get that's in and it in me, and lots of you guys would just see that as a pretty trivial call, but we're all different, and I'm not a big fan of paying off with 1 pair on coordinated boards against anybody. It just in the end it just becomes a matter of we're getting good pot odds, let's just call. Or we're not getting good pot odds, let's just make a possibly exploitable fold. Yeah, I think we're going to get rid of this table 3. Oh, hang on, no, we're not, because 2 people just joined it. That's currently 5 tabling then. That's what we're up to. Not calling with pocket 10s when it's gone back call on this try board. I'm going to make a very small 3-bet to isolate hell over here on table 4. And we get called in 2 spots and we completely brick. Check time. We are going to bet this turn. We picked up a straight draw. And I think we're going to give up on this river. We do have a little bit of showdown value. We would have got him off the 4 queen, but of course we weren't to know. She could be as wide as the queen 4 offsuit, so never mind. Not going to squeeze with Jester or Jaster or what the fuck he's called being on. Let's stack size. We are going to fall to this min bet though with 6 high, no blue. Some potential fun on this table off the screen. We've got lots of people going to the flop for 7-way action, but it's checked through, so never mind. And now the pussycats come to want me to fucking play with a straw with a 0-136. Let's get some players tagged. No need to bet the ace jack here, I don't think, against hell. I guess we could make an argument of betting for value, but this part I'm happy just to keep checking, call some bets possibly. And now we're absolutely going to bet for value, and who knows, maybe he calls it king high or queen high. Pair, gut shot, flush draw against Ouija. Let's see a river. That's a straight. Gone for the overbet. I mean, does he ever have 4-6 here? I don't think we can try and get caught by worse, so chop it up. I'm really not sure about his defend versus my 4x with the 5-4 offsuit there. Really not sure, but each to their own, I guess. I mean, he knows. I mean, we've had discussions before, and you know, if you're watching, you know I'm it. And I just don't sure how defending 5-4 off our position against someone who you know is a nit, and it's not for me. I mean, maybe you just want to gamble with me, who knows? Maybe, well, I don't know. I certainly don't want to risk offending you because you seem like a nice guy at the tables. I wouldn't, put it this way, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't defend 5-4 off out of position against someone with my image. But then again, I turned up with 5-4 suited, so what can we do? I need to call this 120. I'm probably in jail, but we need to call it. And we miss, and then we need to check, and we need to fold. And it's all very simple. And we're not closing the action. This guy 3-bet pre. That is a tight fold, but I didn't fancy calling the river 2. We can just we seen what he turned up with earlier. He could very easily have an 8. You could have a bit of queen. I just don't think we need to be calling there and potentially calling 10 or 12 pound river bets there versus him. Hoping it just keeps going bet call. Don't want to see a raise coming in at any point, really. And given how this guy's played so far, he hasn't really been aggressive. He's just been like coming along and checking to me a lot. So when he does donk quite big, multi-way in a 3-bet pot, albeit a small 3-bet pot, I'm just going to give it credit at first. And if I make a nitty fold, because I mean, if they just call that bet and then that's it, it's end of the hand, of course I'm going to call the bet. But if it's call that bet and hope he doesn't bet the river, if that's my plan, then it's a fucking rubbish plan. So that's the best plan I can come up with. Let's just fold now. You just don't need to be making the big calls in these games most of the time, especially in those spots, to make good money. You can make a lot of your money by, you're on a bluff catch. You do it when you're like out of position, lots of draws have missed, and you can just slip top pair or top 2 pair to like fish on the river, and then they won't be able to help themselves by sometimes thin valuing worse and often just like bluffing with the missed draws and things. That wasn't a spot where I expect someone to turn up with too many just random fucking bluffs. And if he does, then more power to him. If it's somebody who's doing with any frequency, we'll catch him soon enough in a better spot and like take plenty from him anyway. But I know there will be some guys watching this, especially if you're regulars, that are looking at that fold and thinking, what the fuck are you doing, you moron? Aware of that. If you feel the need to tell me that, then great, good for you. I guess it's horses for courses, different strokes make different folks, and any other cliche you can imagine. I'm not going to defend the Queen 9 versus him out of position. I've seen this speed breaker broker limping around and doing lots of other things. Pretty sure he is a green tag player who's just playing lots of tables. Flipped a good shot against our friend Hell. Given that he just doesn't seem to want to fold much, I'm not sure this c-bet is like going to generate too many folds immediately, but hopefully we'll be able to barrel him off something, or just make a jack or a 9 and be good sometimes. The big question here is, do we ever get him to fold an 8 or a 5? We block jack 10, which is going to be one of the lots of hands he's going to be calling with, that is a draw. I'm just going to pass out again. Maybe again, maybe we get him off the 5. Maybe we're going to have to try emptying the clip against him a couple of times just to see what happens. Because that's twice now where I think we could have maybe fired a river barrel and got one through. Check this red river and win. That looks like a pretty obvious block bet to me, with either a weak king or a 9. I think this is quite a weak call I'm about to make here. I think we should probably fold or raise. Yep. Just such a small bet, I couldn't help myself. I think fold is better than raise, is better than call. I think it actually chose the worst decision of the 3. But yeah, a little bit annoyed with myself there. Certainly we're going for a squeeze here with our suited ace king. I'm going to squeeze it pretty big too. There's a good chance we might get called in more than one spot. That is a pretty rubbish flop. Doesn't rate to have hit him too hard though. I'm going to see bet just to try and collect any dead money that's out there. And just make him fold equity. If he's got a hand like Jack 10 or what have you, then just have him fold his equity rather than check and either face a bet and not know what to do, or just let him get there on the turn. I mean, if you're going to miss with ace king, missing on the deuce deuce 3 or the 3-3-4, whatever it was, it's a good way to miss, especially against someone who's got such a wide range. I mean, you can see bet there definitely get called by worse. You can see bet there and absolutely make him fold a decent chunk of equity, etc. Hmm, 3-8 king rainbow. I don't stab too often at these boards, but if I'm going to stab at these boards, it's going to be with a hand like this. Go with the exploitably slightly bigger 3-bet. I'm just going to fold the 5s on that board texture. On table 2, exploitably bigger 3-bet versus Hell. Not much bigger, but a little bit. Easy fold with the Jack Queen. Against Lollipop. You get raised on such a dry board. I mean, it's really not. It's not even close to being a difficult fold. twice we've had health fold now, given that he doesn't fold bottom pair very often. And that's quite a fine result, even though we don't want him to fold with the aces, of course. On this board texture, we're just going to pot it against a fish that only has 30 big blinds. And jamming's fine here. Get called by a worse jack for sure. 8 might call, draws might call, etc. Starting to build up a slight head of steam. But again, table 3 is now kind of reverted to status as that earlier, where even though these guys are kind of fishy, they're not really donating at a particularly speedy rate. And we do have this other table which is significantly better, so depending on what happens in the next minute or so, there's a chance we'll be getting rid of this table and just 3-bet off camera against somebody. If anything interesting develops, then I'll pop it over. The moment we just bricked and he's gone all in, I think we can fold the ace queen on this board for the whatever that is, 2.5x pot jam. We're going to have to let this river go against Ouija, unfortunately, because we've completely bricked and do not fancy calling a large bet with just 2 6s here. I'm not convinced he's repping very much, and if there's a player I would call down in this situation, he would be it a lot of the time. But he did raise under the gun, so I'm going to give him a little bit more credit than I usually would. And if he shows me a bluff, then good for him. He might tell me what he had. Doubt it, but he might. Aces over here, so we'll focus on that. So you see the squeeze I'm making. If we get action, we'll bring it back over, because at the moment we've got lots of other buttons need pressing too. We have been called. We've got pretty damn sexy flop. And we got the fold. I don't need not making sets against Ouija. That's what I don't need. I think a lot more with Ouija. I think a lot of it is about the fucking story and about the action, and not always very much about super solid strategical play. He likes to be involved in lots of pots. I think his ranges are a little bit out in quite a few ways, but it's still a fucking nightmare to have to your left. Although, to be fair, he's been pretty well behaved this session. Set would have been nice there, dealer, on table 4, but never mind. Given we know this guy can call with all kinds. Let's certainly bet the queens for value here. Can't really bet them for value on the turn on that particular card. And I don't really feel like value betting this river much either, so I'm going to pussy out. What did you call me with there, Mr. Weege? Second pair, no kicker. That's a good bet, Jim. That's going to get you a lot of folds, Jimbo. Keep doing that, you'll get folds galore, kid. Tapazuki, he's another player who likes to work his stack. Could be an action table. Could well turn into an action table. Just checking down against hell. Who knows if our hand's good or not, but surely isn't going to fold a better one. That's for sure. And check raise here against Mon the Butcher. Bet smallish. Not typically like bluff raising or bluffing on paired boards, but I think when we have the diamond draw and he bets small, I think it's going to have a decent amount of EV attached to it. Cut shot 2 overs, small c-bet. Straight with a royal flush redraw. Wouldn't it be beautiful to make a royal flush on the first day of a year? Looks like we're not going to get to make much money on this hand though. It's exactly one of those spots we just talked about where we can check here, go for a hero call against some ace-x that, not a hero call, go for a call against some ace-x that goes for thin value, give some missed flush draws a chance to bet. Of course, sometimes he's going to have a straight and then we're going to lose to that too, but So a good spot to go bet check versus a weak player with two weakish pairs. He did have the flush draw that missed, and he chose not to bet with it. Which I think validates my play to an extent, because he didn't have anything. He just didn't bluff, and not much you can do about that. Given he doesn't bet much, and I don't expect Mizro to bluff too much on this board, we're just going to lead out here with our trips in a multi-way pot. This hell hasn't been that big on putting. He does a lot of checking back and what have you, so bearing that in mind, I think checking in a spot where he's not going to see bet bluff into two fish, he doesn't bet much anyway, seems to me like a reasonable spot to just lead out, and if we get no action, we get no action. Ouija has 3 betters. I don't think he's going to give me a ton of action if I 4-bet, and I think he will give me a lot of action if I call and then just take a very, very bluff catchy line with him. What a fucking utterly miserable flop. Who knows, maybe it saved me money. Maybe he has his beat and jump. Maybe he just has the ace. But it does fall in line, like slow playing these types of hands pre-flop against him does fall in line with my overall strategy against him. We're going to have to pay off a bet on the river, I think. Oh, what's the 3-bet me with? Can I get a value bet paid here? Bagger. Maybe we should just have 4-bet in pre, but maybe you got too fancy there, pocket tens. Maybe we got too fancy there. But I want to have some of those types of hands in my range against him for 3-bet pots and in single race pots, so he can't just fucking go blast against us as is his wish from time to time. Not a particularly good river on table 4. He leads big. I'm probably just going to fold. And we've been 4-bet by Speed Broker, who hasn't shown any speed throughout the entire session, any aggression. We're going to make a very, very nitty fold. We're going to 3-bet fold the 2 queens. We're doing a lot of limping around and raising and what have you, but not. I've never seen him 4-bet before. When a player who's green tagged, I've never seen 4-bet before. 4-bets. I'm going to give it some credit the first time it happens and make an incredibly tight fold. That was a bad fold. I mean, did I make a mistake there? I wasn't paying much attention, to be honest. I was trying to make out what he was saying. Just make a small bluff on this turn card. give up on this river. When we get called on a king, ace, 8 board, I'm not going to go for any ambitious bluffs. Although it may or may not have worked there. I'm not going to beat myself up very much about it. Hoping trips again on table 4. Probably not going to get a ton of action. And we do get called in 2 places. I guess we better hope they've got some 2x and some good shots between them, otherwise our 3 could be in trouble. Similar situation to earlier with 3-betting speed broker with 2 jacks. I hope he doesn't 4-bet us, because that would make me sad. He doesn't, he folds, which makes me more confident in my fold from the last time. Rather disappointing flop for the 2 queens against Jelly Jim. Maybe get called here by ace high, some straight draws, possibly a 6. He just folds. Clever Kev is in the house. Not sure if Clever Kev's a particularly accurate screen name, but it's what he picked. Bit of a loose open from middle position, but there's a lot of green kicking around, and if we get 3-bet by our pal, then never mind. It's a particularly easy fold. Over the delayed C-bet on table 3. Once he checks twice, I think I can safely go for a bet. Not going to double barrel this red 5 on table 1. Going to block the river now though. Not much happening at the moment, but there's no sign of the video coming to an end just yet, given that every table's got rather a healthy amount of what seems to be dead money at it. It's one of those nights where if things go well, you can easily book like a +5 or 6 buy-in session, or 600 big blinds, or whatever you want to call it, depending on stakes you're playing. If things go wrong, you can easily book like a -10 buy-in session too. I mean, you expect to win most of the time, and more often than my average win in a session like this over 2 hours, I expect my hourly rate at these tables to be in the region of £10 or more per hour, I would say. But sometimes you can have the nights where you make 4 or 5 times that, and other times you have a night where you just like lose 20 or 30 quid an hour over a long session. Short-term variance at these tables is obviously pretty big, but long-term we're just printing money in these situations. Just got an awful lot of checking. I might start checking about 100% of my range to Ouija, and then look to start working some check calls, some check raises in and things like that. Potential big pot brewing on table 2. Nope. Mon the Butch just taps out. It's a futile try to steal Ouija's blind, but we'll give it a go anyway. Yep, utterly futile. I don't think he's going to fold a single big blind to me this session. This is these bet sizes. I don't really have an awful lot of option but call, given that we know he's capable of turning up with just random bluffs here. I think we'll probably have to fold this river though. I wouldn't be surprised to see him like bomb this river. Seems to be his style. Okay, pocket sevens. Fair enough. He's going to get value from me with ace high then. I guess it's a good bet. Go on, Ouija. Do the 3 bet. That's what we wanted to see. Too deep to not 4 bet. Way too deep to not 4 bet. I'm afraid. 100 blinds deep, I would have made a very, very simple call there. But we're just like 150, 160 blinds deep. We're not going to dick around too much in those situations. Potentially got some action over here off screen. We've just turned the set as well, which is nice. Let's just do that in a moment. Fold that, bring this back in. And it folds. Oh shit, sorry, I did not realise there was another player in this pot. Dark Neo. Missed value. Wimped out. Didn't like it when the flush got there. Probably could have made a small bet, but I didn't because I'm a fucking weasel. Continue with it. Check 100% of hands to him for this session. It's a much bigger bet than he made last time we had pocket sevens on like a low board. I have a slight theory that he maybe big bet bluffs a little bit. Either way, I've got no simple call here with our top pair. Not flush draw. Not the grandest of rivers. He gives up on the river. Seven four suited. If he didn't river a pair, I think we would have induced a third bet for him there. Even though I think he might be onto our strategy, I'm still going to give him the rope for the time being. Easy 10 quid over on table one from Jelly Jim. Jam. Oops, UTG. So we're just chopping away here. We're just making sure we stay fully out of trouble and just picking up risk-free chips whenever we can. And you can just do this if your table's like, well, you can do this all day, every day. and just never put yourself in like just any super stressful situations. And when you got 3, 4 regs at your table, making life difficult for themselves and for yourself. Yeah, the strategy has its critics. It absolutely does. Mostly from fucking angry regulars. It's mostly angry regs and warriors that criticise it. As I said before, and as I'm going to continue saying throughout the entire year, I couldn't give less of a fuck about anyone or what they say about my methods, my style, what I do. It's not cheating. It's not illegal. It's not unethical. It's not unsportsmanlike. It's just how I choose to go about my business. And if that happens to get under the nose of a few regulars who probably won't make anywhere near as much money as me over the course of the year, then good for them. Good luck to them. Tends to be the shittest regulars that have the biggest voice most of the time. We've got to set off camera on a board where we can expect to get some action on a reasonable big bet. If we get any action, we will bring it back in. And we just got 2 folds, so that was that. Some moron, Evil Pingu he's called, on the fucking Sky forum today, basically accusing me of buttoning him. Then I happened to mention that I hadn't seen him at the fucking tables in forever, and I don't recall playing against him. I alluded to the fact if I had played against him recently, he was absolutely multi-accounting and cheating. To which he said, well, we haven't played each other recently. So I know like the hate is really out there with some Sky regulars for me, and you know what? I fucking love it. I absolutely love it that there's a bunch of Sky regulars out there that fucking despise me. As somebody like myself who does enjoy a bit of trolling and getting some nibbles and bites out of people, I don't think they realise just what pleasure it gives me when they do furnish me with a reply that makes me realise that I'm unpopular with them. It's a thing of great beauty. Evil Pingu. Poker Kinga. Larson on and off. Who else is there? Can't top of my head, can't remember, but the fucking utter moron Ace Gooner and a few others. Fucking love it. Absolutely love it. Go on, boys. The louder you shout, the harder I ejaculate. It's fucking tremendous. I suspect we'll beat here, table 3, table 4, but it really doesn't matter when he's betting 30 pence. Yes, it's making it 4x because of the limper. In case anyone thinks, oh, that's exploitable, why are you 4xing with aces and you 3x with most everything else? You have your answer. Sadly, we do not get any action, but never mind. This is shaping up to be a potentially very long session. Because These games just don't look like they're breaking anytime soon. And I don't intend to go to bed whilst I've got lots of green tags. Let's see what happens if we limp into Ouija. Pretty sure he'll raise. I don't think he'll raise to a fold to a 3-bet, so let's just take a flop. Last time he chose this bet size, he had nothing with this in this pot size. I'll float this 10-10-5-5 board, 10-10-5 board. I hope to see a really safe river over here. That is not a really safe river. This could be the hero call though. This could be the hero call that he's been waiting for incoming. Not when he bets that much. Last time he overbet the pot, he had the straight, remember? Up here he had the 4-5. And it's just really bad river for us, so make a fold. He did not show, which makes me inclined to think that he didn't have a bluff. I missed, which is technically true. Gone for the 3x isolation raise this time. Do I want to play 10-9 suited the multi-way pot, or do I want to squeeze? And again, I think we have no fold equity against Ouija. I just think he's in the mood. Well, he's always in the mood to just like never fold. So it's just not a spot where we're going to raise the hand like 10-9 when we do need a bit of fold equity to make it work. No. We need to try and train him to just like not get after our checks and weaknesses by just showing him some strong hands from time to time. And what's going to happen a lot with Ouija is he's going to feel like he's running us over, feel like he's running us over, feel like he's running us over, and then he's just going to dump an absolute load on me. So he's going to win lots of smallish pots. I'm going to win my fair share of medium-sized pots when he double barrels and gives up or whatever, or we make a hero call. From time to time, I'm just going to make the nuts or a super strong hand and have him make like a huge mistake. I'm making several small mistakes by like overfolding to him, I would guess, and maybe checking hands that I could bet for value. But as an overall strategy for this session, given how it seems to be going, I think it's fine. And after he's watched this video, maybe he adjusts, maybe I readjust again, who knows. It's always the he thinks, I think, he think thing, isn't it? There's a lot of that going on. I'll try and check raise here against Jelly Jim because he's the one who made that crude over bet earlier. Try and build a pot as big as I can, as quick as I can. with a very vulnerable hand. And at the same time, we've got a straight over here. Slightly dubious turn card, but we're just going to jam. I mean, he does have some straights now. Doubt he has any better two pairs and things. And over here, we're just going to call on the river. And we're going to win versus a missed straight draw. And we're going to felt the Queen Ace over here. So Jelly Jim is not having the luck of the draw versus us. And we're just stacking fish everywhere. The only thorn in our side is Ouija, but I'm willing to have a Ouija-sized thorn in my side if everywhere else we're just fucking printing money left and right, which is what we're currently doing. I think we're probably up a good number for the session up to now. I will update at the end as to exactly what the profit is. Or loss. Things could still go wrong, of course. Check min raised by Monda Butch. Like a board pair, please, dealer. Ideally. Do not get one. We get a reasonable price to draw. I think there's a not unreasonable chance that we're beat here by Monda Butch. I mean, I don't think we have any choice but call, of course. We're getting 3-1 on this river. And we were beat, which is unfortunate. Ouija did not fall to our enormous 3-bet. SPR of 3, we've got the underpair. I'm glad he's called here because now it allows me to get away from my hand without having to be put in any super tough spots by Ouija. And he just had the absolutely massive top set, which is a beautiful getaway from me. I need to be very grateful there to Speed Broker for allowing me to escape. So we're quite well ahead at every table except this one. But that's what's going to happen when you flop middle set versus a flop straight and a royal flush draw. When that situation happens, you're either going to need to get lucky or you're going to have to take your lumps. And I think I consider myself quite lucky that he didn't really punish me much more with his sizing. Man of the World calls on table 2, which is disappointing. And then cherry on the cake is the ace on the flop. First time I've looked hell up and he just had trips. And we're just going to have to check fold on this board. I think he's made a pot size bet on the flop, setting up for a turn jam. And do I really want to put £11.77 in this spot with just a pair of kings? And that is a rhetorical question. Don't let this be Jelly Jim's Revenge. We don't need this being Jelly Jim's Revenge on table 3 right now. I don't think Jim's a folder, so we'll go for a bigger raise. Oh, Jimmy's a folder. Oh, pissed off ace. I mean, we know hell doesn't need to have one, but still, if he doesn't have one, it's a fucking real action killer. I'm going to value bet the river if he checks through again. Oh no, we're not going to value that particular river. See this guy creeping? Wow, where are these fucking river cards and aces coming from? Twice I've had like pocket kings and an ace. I've had jacks running to kings. And now we've had this fucking run out for our set in a multi-way pot. I mean, I can't complain about running bad because I'm up like a couple of buy-ins for the session, but it's quite irritating when we're getting like our top of our range and then shit boards for it. quite irritating. Just missing value all over the shop. Or not missing value, but like potentially losing opportunities to make some decent size wins. But we can't complain too much. What did he have when we had the kings for the record? King 10. See, no ace on that board, and he has flops top pair. He just gives me his stack, doesn't he? But interestingly, he does just check down middle pair the whole way, which kind of confirms what I was thinking earlier, that he's not a particularly aggressive player by any stretch. He's just very passive station. See, no ace on that flop. We just bomb the flop because we just jam the turn he calls, and happy days, we're 16 quid richer. Almost certainly behind here to Dev, but versus that bet size, we need to call and try and spike a 9 or another 8. Ace. We did not spike a 9 or an 8. We've been 3-bet by landers. Flop me a set. Boom. Nope. And what's his stack? Right. Let's try and either get it in pre or just get it in over 2 streets. Not anything about this guy. I think we're just going to, well, I was just going to call down. But now we've got the easiest call down of all time, which is nice. Flop the set over table 4, sorry, which is nice too. Top pair on table 2. We got no action with the full house on 3, on full house on 4, sorry. Kind of got very lucky over here, of course. Kind of got unlucky pre-flop when the hammer got severely dominated, out flops us, but then having a turn card that gives him 2 pair at the same time, it makes my full houses exceedingly fortunate. But we'll take it. Dark nails at a few tables. I'm going to give him the orange tag for the time being because I'm not familiar with him. He might be some kind of regular that's new or normally plays elsewhere but popped along for the night. looking to get caught by ace high here or in the middle in pocket pair or something like that. This is why we don't drink New Year's Eve, even though I was working anyway tonight, so I couldn't have drank. But Sky is not normal like this at 2:45 in the morning. There's still 380 players seated, and we've got 5 pretty marvellous tables up. It's worth it. It's worth staying up for these situations. As I said earlier, we're not guaranteed to win, but we are guaranteed good games. And I think it's important that when you know there's going to be good games running and you kind of like to try and make a bit of money from poker, it's important that you put yourself in them and give yourself situations where it's possible to chalk up some reasonable wins. I'm going straight to the green tag now with this unknown who's just limped. Being a triple whipple bet by Ouija. We just have enough implied us to call here, I think. Certainly can't do anything. It's either call or fold, and he hasn't been massive with the 3 bets tonight, but intent is way too strong to fold to him. Don't intend to stack off on this board necessarily. I mean, in this situation earlier we had pocket kings, he had pocket tens. That's a big bet. The 3-bet C-bet hasn't been his MO tonight. I mean, maybe he's doing one there. It just hasn't been his MO. It's like his MO's been call and then look to try and take me off. That could be again a weakish fold, but this is what's going to happen when you have these aggressive players to your left. They're going to own you a lot. And if it wasn't such a good table, or potentially good table, I would just leave. If this was, I'd say, another regular, instead of a regular here and this orange guy, there was just these 2 fishy players, there's every chance I wouldn't bother playing the table. Because these guys do make your life difficult. Do I think Ouija's like a really strong regular, with all due respect? No, I don't think he is, but he's capable of making life very difficult still. And I don't need my life making very difficult, especially in a situation where I want to stay on a really strong mental even keel at my other tables, because, as I said, we've got a chance of making like a pretty good start to the year tonight. So I don't really need him fucking with my mental game. And we've got like good tables at we've got other good tables, sorry. I'm starting to need a piss though. Can hold out for a while longer yet. If we had any equity here, we'd consider check raising on this board texture, which is kind of pretty good for us to try and represent some stuff, but we just with the 5 high, I think we can let it go. If I had like 2 overs there, or gut shot, or backdoor flush draw or something, I might have been tempted. I'm aware that like some of the observations coming from this video is absolutely going to be you were a little bit too passive at spots and a little bit too weak at times. I'm aware of it when I'm playing. I know it's happening, but there's that much low-hanging fruit around. I'm just not. I just want to try and like keep on as a real even keel where possible, and just pick all the low-hanging fruit and just let them have it in some of the spots where it's not so good for me. Am I going to get bluffed a few times? Yep. Am I going to save myself money by not paying off a few times? Yep. Am I making some folds that are possibly exploitable? Absolutely. But outside of Ouija, I don't think there's going to be too many people who are going to be exploiting me on a regular basis. And if the occasional person is, then so be it. If I'm pretty much having an easy time overall, then I'm willing to like let a couple get past me. Again, he's just taking a small aggressive action, and he had it again, which is useful to know. Table off camera starting to break, and so is table 2. But that's not really a huge surprise at 10 to 3 in the morning. It's kind of odd. I know Ouija is capable of getting a frisky on. Certainly won't be folding if he raises here. Good card, bad card on the turn. I'm not surprised he's leading out. We could raise. Don't really want to face a 3-bet. And now we lose to precisely quads and queen 10 suited. Will be sick if he jams there. It would be a very sick spot, but in fact it'd be incredibly sick. And if he really did have the ace-2 there, that does kind of sum up what we talked about earlier, where he's going to run me over a little bit, then we're just going to make a strong hand and just have him just dump most of his profit, if not all of it, and more on us. I mean, what was that pot size in the end there? How much did we win? More to the point. Let's raise these king rolls first. Now at £10. Not as much as I thought, to be fair. Table off camera's had a little bit of life breather back into it. We might let this table go, actually. This 20 table, it hasn't been great for us by our stack size, and 2 green tagged players, but both are kind of regulars and not super big leakers. We might let this one go and just pop that other 13 table in. Or maybe move this one off camera at least and pop the other one in. Flop hasn't exactly been kind to us if we end up getting owned by a bigger pair. Not the flop, the board, sorry. We haven't 3-bet bluff almost ever tonight, so given we're going to be leaving this table, let's try one now. And we get it through. I'm just going to leave it. Going to leave the table there. We're going to pot ISO here on table 3. We're going to hope to see a beautiful sea of blue. Nah, that is not a beautiful sea of blue. That's a nice turn card though. Not a great river. I think we can value bet pretty small though. Fold to a raise pretty comfortably. So that table's now gone. This table is now going to move in. Everything's moved around a little bit, but I hope it hasn't spoiled anyone's viewing pleasure. And if you're still here after 1 hour 39 minutes, then absolutely hats off to you. Let me think of a question that you can reply to in the chat if you're still here. If you're still watching, in the chat, type in your, in the comments below the video. If you're still watching at 1:39 50 seconds, type in the chat who your favourite old school poker pro is. And by old school, I mean anyone that played on any of the high stakes poker series or before. So none of these, like, for example, I wouldn't class somebody like Doug Polk as old school, for example, or Doc Sands, people like that. Even though Doc Sands did play on some of the WSOP stuff, people like that know old school. I'm talking like cash game players. We're talking like Galfond, Haxton, Dwan era, or even before then, like your Helmuths, your Negreanus, your Ivies, Brunsons. Going back even further to like the very start of TV poker, Devilfish, Jennifer Harmon, all those types. Who's your favourite old school player? Good thing is I'm not even close to tired yet. We've got a lot of petrol in our tank. We might get owned here by a better race, by a slow played 8, someone who's just got like pocket queens or something, wherever he's got scared on the flop, but very easy bet fold. Well, it's not an easy bet fold. We get min raise. We're just going to call 120 and lose here. That's pretty much exactly what we're going to do. Call 120 and lose. Oh, we didn't. We called 120 and won. Good stuff. Surprised Ouija didn't make a move there on that board texture. I was willing to go into hero mode. Ouija is absolutely more about the story than he is about the let's play sensible poker. That's for sure. He's consistently super, like, for want of a better word, spewy. But he seems like a nice guy, so there you go. Good luck to him. I hope when he's not playing against me, he makes money. One thing I do suspect is he has a fucking good time, and as long as he can afford any losses that he has, and he's having a good time, then more power to him. Really do need a piss now. We might just need to sit out next big blind, all tables, go for a wee, and hope when I come back that I'm not the catalyst for them all to break, I guess. I doubt I will be. I'll be gone literally no more than a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Might be slightly breathless when I come back because I will be jogging up the stairs, and we do have an upstairs toilet, which is disappointing. My old house used to have a downstairs toilet. The last 2 houses I lived in had downstairs toilets, which I was a big fan of, apart from when I was upstairs. Then I wasn't a fan of it, but whatever. We have the king and the ace on table 3. No, we're not potting because no one's limped. We have the 2 aces on. This is going to be a good time to try. Oh, is it? No, I think we just take the full value option of the squeeze now. We're deep versus Joe Root 100. Good name. Good name, sir. Be a lovely time for Ouija to get out of line, wouldn't it? It would be remarkably sexy. He didn't though. And then we get to the flop with the person we're happy to get to the flop with, because this is just the easiest spot in the world to play now. Excuse me. I'm not happy with this board against Ouija Man. Surprised he found a fold there, but never mind. Just going to check call down here against the Ouija and hope he's got some random bluff. I think we're going to call it even if he goes for the overbet, because I don't expect him to have too much 7x in his random 3-betting range. He didn't go for it that time. Maybe he's getting used to us just like calling and slipping it to him every time. What did he have? Jacks. So, I think we'll sit out of this table early. Once we get set out of this table here, I think there's... Yeah, we'll do it that way. And then we'll be back in a moment. There we go. Empty bladder. Let's crack on again. And we've got another 20-nil table on the side. Should we need to slide one in later? Didn't mean to sit out there, did it? Bell end. It's annoying. I'm not expecting to get check raise on this board too often. We're not going to fold an ace out, but we might get pairs to fold and what have you. We have backdoor hearts too. And sometimes we do just get the two folds as we get closer to the 500 big blind stack at one table, which is not unpleasant. And the straight would have got there, would it? Yeah, would it have got there? No, would it? Fuck, what am I talking about? You fucking bell end. Sounds really hungry now. I haven't eaten in 4.5 hours. I'm going to power through it for the tables. If we now felt either of clever Trev or Fridays at the moment, it's going to take us to the 500 stack, which is neither here nor there, but it's nice to have one. That's a good shot home on table one. And that's a backdoor flush, which is going to prevent me making a bigger bet as I would have liked on the river. And we can raise fold, I think. He's ever going to re-raise me with worse than a straight here. You can definitely get called by some worse hands there. I think raised fold is a tool that many struggling players just don't have in their armory. They just don't have it. They just call or fold or like raise and then just never fold. I think it's a really nice and like really important tool to have. You've got to have it in your locker. If you don't have it, then you're definitely going to miss value from time to time. You also I'm going to raise the jack here, just protect against draws and what have you. So many players that I work with, I'm like, right, why don't you raise a river? Or, didn't want to face a shove. Well, just fold if you get shoved on it. It's not difficult. Again, here, it's like a pretty, in my opinion, well, we don't have to raise. Pretty sick if we get 3-bet. But I think it's going to be a fold. Because, again, very unlikely he's going to be doing this with a worse hand if he does. Well, if he does raise, sorry. And we're checking back this river on table 1 if we're allowed to. If he donks big, we're probably going to fold. Not sure that's big enough to make me fold though. Is it about half pot? Having a jack of diamonds, I think we just have to pay this one. Jack of diamonds really helps with making that call. Due to it just like reducing the number of flushes he can have. Blockers are super important, but I think when you are in a spot that's like close between calling and folding, having a blocker to his strongest hands absolutely helps. I don't use blockers too much, certainly not as much as lots of other people do, but I think it's a nice thing to have in close spots, nice thing to consider at least. Don't need to see bet the ace queen on the king jack board. Don't like calling this £3 bet, but I think our hand's too strong to fold at the moment. Pretty loose open there against Ouija, who might 3-bet a lot, but we're just so deep we can handle him doing that. And if he double barrels here, we're going to give up. And we're probably going to fold most ribbons if he bets like anything close to being what I would consider a reasonable amount. He might have bet a king, check a turn, bet the river. We're certainly going to fold versus that size and not even take time to think about it. Can't win them all. Every Yorkshireman. Fucking Lancastrian being called Joe Root 100. Now I know he's an England player, but he's still a Yorkie. Any Lancastrians in the fucking lineup? Yeah, you could just be Jimmy Anderson 100, couldn't you? He's on Lancastrian. I'm not sure why you have to run a tribute to the White Rose when you're a Red Rose man. Still, new players keep coming with the random stack sizes. 20 past 3 in the morning and they keep coming. Come on, Sky, make me pull an all-nighter. Let me put a video out that's fucking 4.5 hours long. Let's safely bet this turn now on table 2. Hmm. 10-9's got there, 6-5's got there. We're already beat by a jack, we're beat by a 4. Well, just make a fold. Dark Neo is not happy what's just happened. Dark Neo has just lost a big pot to Desert Turk. Did not notice what happened. Desert Turk doesn't appear to give much of a fuck, which is nice. We know 0 positional awareness. And it's a bad aggressive player. But suspected bad aggressive player, should we say. And now we're sticking the needle in. Go on, Desert Turk. You big cockney. I don't mind seeing fish needling regulars. I can get on board with that sort of activity. Can't get on board with completely bricking with Queen Jack suited, but seems churlish to complain. Desert Turk, can we get one more street of value from you? Can you call with the ace-8? Guess we'll see. That would have been too weak of a check back, I think, to not make that bet there. Even though there wasn't too many hands I could imagine would be able to call. Would have been too weak to check back. And as you've seen, I haven't minded a couple of weak check backs so far this session. I haven't minded doing them, but that would have been way too weak. Good shot against Ouija on a board expecting to see bet 100% of the time. He doesn't. I'll try a lead against him. Wasn't very confident that was going to work, to be fair. Given that I've been checking everything to him, he would be silly to make too many folds to me, but we'll try anyway. I feel I'm going to get owned here, either by a solid call or a raise that I can't call. I don't really get the fold. Two pairs here on a pretty coordinated board in a small pot, whatever, in the bin. Another green tag player just comes and joins the party. It's like they don't want me to ever leave. And look, 3 of my tables are now 4-handed and 1 is 5-handed, so I think there's a chance that these tables will eventually break. Well, obviously they'll eventually break, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're broken by maybe 330, 340-ish. Seems like a good turn card on table 4. Check min raised. Eesh. Well, we've got the 3rd nut, so I'm not folding. Whatever. We're in the nuts, it stinks. What can we do? So we got examine turned nuts, snap over bet, oops, jam river, which is disappointing. But given the read, we're just not going to dwell too much on 3rd nut flushes. When we made it, especially if we made the 3rd nut flush with 2 of our whole cards, just not a situation where I'm going to be looking to make any folds, really, against that player type. I'm going to call here for 90 pence. Yeah, it's disappointing that as we're coming towards the end of our session, we lose a pretty juicy pot. And it was a juicy pot, let's not make any mistakes. It was 150 big blinds. But you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to let it detract from what was overall a very good session. I've got pair and a flush draw. Sorry, a straight and a flush draw. Miss. Fold. tantalisingly close to the 500 big blind stack on table 1 still. Check call by Bigger, who's been check folding a lot on table 3, so we're going to just take a free card. And we can't really fold here, given we've river top pair, etc, etc. Not really sure what the purpose of his large bet was there, but we'll take it, which we clawed our way back from the £45 irritation. It's a lot easier to take a £45 loss, 150 big blind, so with 300 big blind pot loss on the chin when you were up way over 100 than it is if you're breaking even or stuck. I'm going to call here against Lally because there's a Turk we wanted to come along in the blind with his all kinds of nonsense. Thinking of some brick rivers here. What I'm thinking of, not what you see, is Jack X, Diamonds, 9X, 8X. 6X seems like a good river to me. Wimp out and check back though, am I? Oof, good check back, Reggie. Good check back, Reggie. Ew. So we have to call this against Lally. I think he's bad enough where we have to call. I mean, I'm going to be disappointed if we lose here to like ace-9 or something like that. But at this point, I'm not really seeing what I'm going to get into fold. I think I played the hand not great. Don't think he would have folded king ace anyway. I was about to consider winding the session up, but then the blue tag player pops up from nowhere. And now we plod on. Although if we do drop to 3 tables, then we may call a recording, we may knock the recording on the head, and then just I'll continue playing until Martin Carl disappears. Certainly going to be c-betting our combo draw on table 3. Happy to take it down. Probably going to call if we get raised. That's a set against Mr. Friday. Is this the moment we get over the 100 blind stack? What's a pot size raise here? 325. We'll go with the 230. I'm going to hope at this point he doesn't have a straight and he just has a queen 10 or a king queen or something similar. Obviously we're not folding at this point. If he jams, we're going to cry and call. We're in trouble here for sure. We are very much in trouble. I'd be very surprised if this isn't a king and a jack, but what are we going to do? It's a jack and an 8. It's a jack and an 8, and we've lost 2 big pots in a row to 2 fish, and I'm going to, at this point, call it a night, even though the tables are still good. It's late, and on the back of like 60 quid worth of reverses in a short order of time, I think it's not unreasonable to say that right now I'm probably not in the best frame of mind, so therefore let's just suck it up and crack on. I think at one point I was way over 100. I think we're going to be lucky to be up about 40 now, but we'll see. We'll end the video with a look at the spreadsheet. And yeah, again, I'm walking away from good games, but it's 3:30 in the morning, and yeah, quite simply, we're not in the frame of mind we were in maybe 20 minutes, half an hour ago. So you got to know yourself, and right now I know that I'm in a situation where I could potentially make some mistakes. So let's just not do that. And there we go. I should pause now and we should come back with the spreadsheet and we'll find out what the result was. So here we are. Outcome for the session. Sorry, my microphone. Sorry for any slight glitch there. Slight problem with my recording software, just randomly cut out, but whatever. So yeah, here's the result of the session. There's something wrong with the spreadsheet and I need to fix it. But it's the first session of the year. We made £33 at £10.31 an hour, which is pretty disappointing. At the start of the night I would have wanted to make much more than that. At one point I think, well, given we lost £65 in those 2 pots, at one point we're up well over 100. Never mind, shit happens. Give me a £10 an hour hourly for the whole year through and I'll be very happy. So yeah, it's one of the nights of the year where you hope to make a big score. Didn't work out for me due to, I mean, at the end, the set of knives versus the straight, tough shit. What are you going to do there? You're just going to lose all your money. But the Queen 7 suited, you could make an argument being result orientated for folding, but against someone who got a note on who's bad aggressive, I'm just not going to fold third nut flushes. Disappointing we were so deep when it happened, but this is what happens. You get into deep spots against these fish, and it is high short-term variance. You know, if you get deep with fish and then the cooler happens and you're on the wrong side of it, then you're going to lose a decent chunk of cash. I think against a regular there, I could easily have got away from that hand on, which, or at least sometimes I've got away from it, but just not going to get away against it. Get away from it against someone like him. And yeah, put a big dent in the session followed up by the set. But I identified that, you know, even though the sales were good, maybe I wasn't in the best frame of mind all of a sudden. And it's like, normally I would just take a break there and maybe come back in 10 minutes. But at what is now 3:45 in the morning, that's not really an option. So I ended the session disappointed, but we still booked a win. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed the enormously long video, and who knows when. If there isn't one before, there'll definitely be one next Monday with the first blog post of the year. Might be one in between, who knows. Bye bye for now.